2003, and then I get a question by a mother who had a daughter. She had 4 years old, and she was diagnosed with spinal myopathy. She had never walked, she had never stood up, she was crawling some on the floor, and the doctor told the mother she will never get better, it's only downhill from there. She had 2 hands and an uncle completely paralyzed in a wheelchair. She asked me, can the product help? A previous version of Revitablu. Can the product help? Conclusion was no, because you release stem cells that have the same genetic defect. So it's not going to help. She says, can I use it anyway? It's a free country. So she tried it, she gave it to her daughter. 3 weeks later, I get an email. She said, my daughter just stood up. 3 weeks later, she said, my daughter started to walk. So the only way I could explain this, keep in mind, I'm not telling you the product will reverse these problems. The only way to explain it is that I've got cellular loss that is faster than a normal person because of a genetic defect, but if I can compensate for that cellular loss fast enough, I can bring back function. It's like I've got a big leak, I'm losing all the water in my bucket, but if I can put water fast enough, I can keep some water in my bucket. You see, if I increase the income, although my expenses is much bigger than normal, well, if I bring more income, I can reach some sort of balance. So it's from that case that all of this developed. So we then propose this in the scientific literature. There's one way to test this idea. We can go and count the number of stem cells in the bloodstream of people who have developed different types of health problems and compare that with the number of stem cells that we find in healthy people. If that is true, we should see statistically fewer stem cells in people who have developed different types of problems. Fair enough? Yeah. So here's a few of those studies. They have been done and they have been published. This is diabetes. This is scientists who counted the number of stem cells in people who were at different phases in the development of diabetes, which is normal glucose tolerance, impaired fasting glucose, impaired glucose tolerance, and diabetes. And you can see there's a straight line. As people progresses in the problem, they have fewer and fewer stem cells. Of the people who develop kidney problems as a consequence of diabetes. So this is kidney function, people with few stem cells, people with more stem cells, people with fewer stem cells. Over 1 year, their condition deteriorated, but people with more stem cells, it maintained itself. Same observations were done with muscular dystrophy. If somebody is diagnosed and you count the number of stem cells in circulation, you can predict the rate of the evolution of the problem. People with more stem cells will evolve much more slowly. Here's erectile dysfunction. So people who went to the hospital to see their doctor to complain of erectile problems, and control people. If I take the average number of stem cells, bring that here, you can see a little bit less than half the number of stem cells in people who complain. Now you take all these people and you establish their index, international index of erectile function, and you plot that with the number of stem cells, you get a straight line. There's a direct relationship between erectile function and how many stem cells. And erectile function is all a matter of vascular health, so it's really about the vascular system. The same conclusion exists for atherosclerosis. Here's another one. These are different types of stem cells. So in that study, scientists looked at more than one type of stem cells in the blood. You can see the relationship is almost identical. But this is with lung problem, normal people, baseline after exercise. First conclusion, exercise puts more stem cells in circulation. But the conclusion here is that people with lung problem have a little bit less than half the number of stem cells in circulation. We can continue like this with more kidney problems, metabolic syndrome. We see the same relationship. So the conclusion, and really that's the only thing to remember, is that more stem cells in circulation and better stem cell function simply means that you've got more stem cells, you've increased the ability of the body to do what the body is born to do, is simply to repair itself and maintain itself. So we're not talking about curing anything. All we're talking about, I'll put all the studies aside, all we need to understand out of all these studies is that you release stem cells every day. Their natural role is to go scout the places that need repair and just go and repair them. What I mean when I say this is meant to change or called to change the way that we practice medicine is simply that today, what I'm going to say is a little subtle, but I'm sure you'll get it. Today, the best of medicine is preventive medicine, is it not?
Yep.
But preventive medicine is trying to prevent the problem. Let me put it this way. The best way to be wealthy is to prevent poverty. Will you be wealthy if you prevent poverty? You'll just be not poor. You're never going to be healthy by just preventing the problem. But until you can do better because you don't have a better platform, then that's the best you can do. But the day you discover that the body has a health system, the body has a mechanism designed to keep you healthy, but we live in a society where how do we define health? We define health, if you think about it, as the absence of disease. Go tell your boss, say, you know, I feel I'm going to have a heart attack in 2-3 weeks. I need 3 weeks vacation. You won't get them. Get your heart attack, now you'll have you 3 months. You go and see your doctor and you say, I don't feel good. He takes a blood sample, he looks at your blood, looks at you and says, no, everything's fine. He says, no, I don't really feel good. No, everything's fine. Come back in 6 months. In 6 months now you can identify the problem. It was already there before. But if you can't identify it, you're fine. So we live in this funny world where everything is good until a switch is flipped and now you've got a label. But we know very well, just look at your life experience, health is a gradient. It's a vast gradient, a vast gray area between optimal health, a big long decline, until the point where you've got a problem that has symptoms, and now we call that a disease. But in between that, you know that you're not running as fast as you could. Your concentration is not as well as it could. Your vision is not as well as it could be. Your hair color has changed a little bit. You don't sleep as well as you used to. You kind of know that it's not quite ideal. It could be better. But we're okay because we've learned that it's fine. That's what is aging. And now we discover the body as a process, a mechanism to allow you to repair and maintain itself so that it can be the best that it can be. So it takes everything from preventive now and it puts it into actual health maintenance and giving the ability of the body to be the best that it can be. And the impact socially is the cost of reversing a disease is so much bigger than just staying healthy, on top of the cost of the loss of quality of life, the impact on family and society. Now just think now, we shift and we do what it takes to just keep the body healthy. Think about the impact that it would have on quality of life and also economic. So anyway, so it leads us to the big question. What can we do to put more stem cells in circulation? Was it okay so far?
Yeah.
Not too technical?
No, very good.
So what can we do to put more stem cells in circulation?